My name is Faith Taylor and I'm Worcestershire's Young Poet Laureate for 2021. I'm from South Bromsgrove High and my poem is called The Sparrow. It is about the beauty of Bromsgrove as a town and all of the features in it.
My name is Jenna Plewes and I'm a poet. I live outside Bromsgrove and I worship at St John's. This poem came to me after one of the services that we had here several years ago.
Hi, my name's Mike Hurst. I've lived in Bromsgrove since 1975, although I was born on the Wirral. My poem about Bromsgrove was based on the nail makers and the history that is Bromsgrove to me.
My name's Rachel Broad and I'm in Year 9 at South Bromsgrove High School. My poem that I wrote was about how I collect shards in the fields surrounding my home and how my home used to be a school building almost, one woman teaching all these children.
Hello, I'm Gwyn Evans. I was born and brought up in Bromsgrove and my poem Bromsgrove Child is about my recollections of the good things in my childhood.
I'm Anna Deer and I've lived in Bromsgrove since 1986. I'm fascinated by the history of street names, place names, pub names obviously, and I'm a retired teacher.
Hello, my name's Pat Leighton. I moved to Bromsgrove in the early 1970s and I've lived here ever since. I love local history and Chapel Walk is my go-to route down to the town centre.
My name is Margaret Evans. I've lived in Bromsgrove for more than half a century, and the inspiration for my poem came from talking to the Syrian refugees who have now come to live here.
The groves gleam aureately in the sunrise, as the nesting birds carol for the crack of dawn. A sparrow awakens, the townsfolk likewise, their morning hustle welcomed by a yawn. The sparrow leaves the nest for its journey ahead. The town usually teeming is quiet now instead.
The scattered straw on the ground tickles my feet, and the warm sun gently shines on my back. But there, something caught the light and pokes up above the dry earth. Broken, part of something lost, and yet I'm glad it is, because if not, the discovery of its origin, its history, could not be made. Only just in view, I see the large brick building in the distance, perhaps once home to a woman long ago, helping others to learn and grow. Children once came to this place to play, to learn from this woman, and unfortunately, unpurposefully, to break dishes. This treasure of the earth is blue and white. Dainty patterns twist and turn about its jagged edges. Lost before in the tall grain, two doves together in the air. I too learnt inside of those walls, played, broke things, and now I harvest these shards of history, as others might with mine in years to come, in the same town, under the same sun.
Housman guards the market as Sparrow sits, atop his shoulder chirping his sultry obad. The loveliest of trees bestow their wisdom and wits to the saplings that have their own skill to add. The bird spreads its wings into the aurora bliss, the flight he takes from the past to reminisce.
You can pick me up and take me back to broken tarmacked cul-de-sacs, garages, blue, orange, green, by white-clad homes built in the fields. You can drop me by the cotton pool and sit me on the island wall and watch the children breaking ice, pushing, pulling, falls and slides. You can take me back to Applejack, scoops of nuts, brown paper bags, spend pocket money, 30p, on half-p chews and aniseed, from George's Candy, Woolworths, Plex, sweet simple pleasures to select. You can drop me at the swimming pool, the nobbled china underfoot, lying cold against my shivering skin, being taught with rigour how to swim, and diving deep, 11'6", to grasp a wayward rubber brick. You can take me back to daisy chains and Jackson's Field and country lanes, assembly on the parquet floor, cross-legged, straight-backed inside Moor Hall. Milk tetrahedrons broke the day and helped me count and write and play. Smell aluminium trays of food, big or little, peas and stew. You can take me back to All Saints Church and Sunday School and Spadesbourne Brook, to all my dams on streams that fed South Bromsgrove from the watershed, from Licky Hills and Wildmoor Lane to Garrington's and the railway, adventures in the wagon works, abandoned buildings, rusty rails, to carnivals with floats and rides, by Predes, Fine Fare and Our Price, from rope swings hanging by a thread to streams to dam beside the dead. And now we're by the prefab walls and midwives fraught in 74. That's where I drew my earliest breath, in Bromsgrove, where my soul was blessed.
The Sparrow glides past, the church bells ringing, as the school children play beneath the spire. St John's Court alive with laughter and singing, gaiety accompanied by the choir. The bird continues his flight, cruising through the air. The gilded glint tells that the day will be fair.
Tap tap, Tap, tap. Is that the ghost of the nail-maker as they labour for hours in a Sidemore street? Tap, 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 tap. Is that the rain on the roof of the forge in the yard whilst they're trying their best to make ends meet? Wait, it's market day and the town is full of high street bustle and drovers' muscle. The cattle market loaded with lowing livestock wait, whilst the inns see the young men tussle. Tap, 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 tap. The bailiff's staff hits the busy street. Then weigh the bread and test the ale. The crier's bell rings loud and hail.
Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh yes!
Tap, 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 tap. That's the well-heeled feet of the Grand Court Leet. Wait, on sandstone steps raised up high, a bride and groom with their hands entwined leave the church of St. John's behind in their mind. And wait, as below, both rich and those in need pass them rapidly by with barely a heed. Tap, 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 tap. In Bromsgrove town, as in many places, the muffled messages on mobile phones fill up in the ether and stir the bones. Tap, 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 tap. Of the nailmaker's ghost when they turn in their grave, as they just don't understand how now people behave.
The well-being tree, formerly the shoulder of mutton. Where be'th they before and us werein? Where are you, ghostly grey lady, who haunted the tunnels between this old inn and the manor? Do you walk down the Nun's Way that doesn't exist now? Crown Close, where the pub it was named for, has gone. I think of you crossing the road near Asda, over the brook and the vicarage glebe fields, into St. John Street, brush by me in passing through 500 years of the shoulder of mutton. Were you a draper, a dyer, a baker, tailor or weaver, wife of a nailer? Did you come across Housman, the scholar and poet, there on his plinth looking west from the High Street? Or maybe at Perry Hall, just round the corner, you saw his parched father pick up a pebble to fling at the roof of the place where I'm sitting, so the landlord would bring him a jug of best ale. Where did you come from? That glint of you sidling to slide into hand-me-down folk tales and songs, sung at the bar among sawdust and spittle, but born in the smoke of a long-ago campfire, when a stone in the hand was a weapon or amulet, darkness abounding with cries in the night. Grey lady, you're fading, but everything changes. You flicker in candles and spiral in incense, here in this well-being clinic whose timbers hold a hint of their history where you belong.
God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. From whence will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth.
As if togetherness were tangible, they come in tidy lines, booted and beribboned, poppies pinned in place. Among the khaki uniforms, a woman dressed in black with a little boy. 3 men in wheelchairs, line abreast. The bands play, They follow rank on rank through streets hung with multicoloured flags. The church bell tolls. Silence gathers them in. The choir's red robes stir in the breeze. Sunlight reads name after name, engraved in stone. Two girls in running shorts, a man with a dog, stand with the rest. Stand with the rest where each must lie alone. The sound of bugles echoing from cairn to cairn of stored up memories.
Down Chapel Walk to the town centre go pushchairs, shopping trolleys, wayward bikes, feet of all sizes, the young, the busy, the old, heading for shops, cafes, buses out. By day, it sprouts weeds, harvest litter. But in night's dark dream time, its layers are sloughed off and a dirt track is revealed. Rutted and roughed by carts and livestock, the tramp of peasants, travellers' feet, it drops down from pastures, orchards, strip fields, huts, carries grain to the town mill, dues to the tithe barn, goodwives' butter, cheeses and eggs to market. One spoke of a wide wheel. It cuts through a cluster of dwellings, crosses the town's brook to the marketplace, the church high above it, its pagan protection of encircling limes. Other tracks converge on this birthing spot. Peter's Finger, Clegg's Entry, those of lost names, feet and ways which are the heartbeat of this small town, the veins and arteries of its endurance.
What do you mean it's clever, your mum? E. D. If you do this whole...
Quietly, we've settled here in Bromsgrove, unrecognised, unknown. Headscarfed, long-robed, strange in the rain, but welcome to your villages and homes. Will you listen while we learn your tongue to talk of families in distant lands? Mobile phones clutched in our hands show relatives across the world and ghosts of those who've gone before, close to our eyes, our hearts, our souls. See our beautiful homes destroyed, our farmland burnt, our people shot. Life has so changed, and now in peace we want to work and school our children here. Welcome you into our homes, drink coffee, talk of our new hopes.
The library inspires the writers of today to browse the shelves of present and past. Sparrow gazes through the window display as creatives explore their minds at last. Admiring their talent, the bird takes his leave as the young writers will be working into the eve. Bustling with people, the railway is ever alive. Sparrow perches on the shelter of the station new. Commuters are crammed as if bees in a hive. As the train departs, Sparrow mimics it too. Heading toward the pastures, the bird soars, family strolling by, savouring the outdoors. The sheep in the field bleats for its lamb as the farmer prepares to shear its fleece. The sparrow flies past, approaching the dam. The serendipitous fields bear eternal peace. Sparrow rests by the canal in deep thought. He reflects on his journey and all he has sought.